Where you at, dude?
Oh man, I'm just in Los Angeles. Where are you?
Ooh.
We are in Chicago, Illinois, home of a mediocre football team, but a very, very, very fun summer is what Chicago is.
Oh yeah. How's summer treating you?
I can't complain. I know Whitney here has been all over the world. I've been doing a little traveling myself. I actually got back from Vegas literally hours ago. Speaking of bad decisions, yeah. So.
Well, I was going to say, speak for yourself that you're in Chicago. I'm still in Florida. I fly out here in a few hours. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, dude. You are always a pleasure to speak with, and we got this big banger we got to talk about, which you just dropped, and we'll get to that. But the most important thing I got to ask you about: how freaking good is Raising Cane's sauce?
There's nothing better. Now, do you know about the secret sauce? You know, they have a honey mustard that not a lot of people know about.
You're speaking my love language. Now, what? So I've got this Raising Cane's. It's the pool for Raising Cane's. So I'm great. A big fan. But yeah, no, tell me about the honey mustard. Like this is like
so you ask them. You have to specially ask them for it. It is incredible. It's the best sauce you've ever had in your life.
Oh my God.
I'm sold.
Okay. Yep. Hangry Brady's ready for it. But welcome. Brady. This is Whitney Reynolds from the Whitney Reynolds Show. Obviously, we're doing the Pop and Positivity podcast. The man has created some of the anthems of our generation. East Side, Lonely, just to name a couple. But now we got a new one, man. Bad Decisions. Jump into it. How did it happen? This is like an iconic collab.
It is.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, you guys ever been to a BTS show?
No, I need to.
Okay, it's insane. It's the crazy. Okay, whoever you think the biggest artist is, they're bigger. Wherever you are, let's say you're in Florida right now, great. Don't worry. If they do a show tonight, there'll be 80,000 people there. Literally, they'll have sold it out 5 nights in a row. And then while they have the stadium, they get the closest arena and they sell that out and have a screen that watches the stadium.
So I try to explain to my friends because they know the songs, they get it, like BTS, they get it. But I try to explain like the size of this fandom and just this whole movement, but I can't explain it. Can you explain it?
You go there and it's like this, okay? You'll see a lady who's like 60 years old and I'll be like, oh, where's your daughter? She's like, what do you mean? I'm here by myself. Like it's all walks of life. It's like every nationality. It's 6-year-olds to 60-year-olds and everyone is just there. They're in it. When you go, it does make you feel like a little kid again. Like when I hang out with them, I'm like, ooh, like I'm like, ooh, they give me I fangirl a little bit. I get the nerves.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of like getting around, I'm like, okay, so go back. Like, how did this all come together and how did this union happen?
I was a big fan. I went to a show. Apparently they were big fans and they like knew my music and they were just fans of what I did. And, you know, I went out on a limb and I was like, hey, we should do a song together. And they were like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, cool. And then it actually happened. And I was like blown away that like, I thought they were just like being nice. It actually happened. And then everyone's always like, how'd you think to get Snoop Dogg? I didn't come up with Snoop Dogg. It was their idea. They were like, we should get Snoop Dogg on this. And I was like, exactly. And, you know, I've worked with Snoop in the past. You know, we made California Girls together. We've done a bunch of records together. And he's just the coolest man on planet Earth. Like, I don't know if you've ever had the chance of meeting Snoop, but basically Snoop Dogg will say your name and it'll be the coolest way anyone's ever said your name. And you'll be like, how have I gone my whole life without like having my name said like that? And he makes you feel the coolest you've ever felt. And he's just like, you're just high if you're in the same room with him. He's just the coolest guy.
He really is. Yeah, I had one interaction with him and I don't know how we got on the topic, but we started talking about Ric Flair and then he just turned into like Snoop Dogg, like his impression of Ric Flair. And the whole time I'm just watching this, I'm like, This is like the coolest moment of my life. I'm peaking. I'm peaking right now.
You peak. I peak every time I see Snoop.
Yeah, so good.
Well, now I have a new bucket list. I need him to say my name at some point in my life. That's my new goal.
Yeah, it's a good goal.
Yeah, I was watching the music video and I'm like really into like the whole cake decoration. Then all of a sudden there's Snoop. Like, how did you dream the video up?
You know, after I was with BTS and like, you know, we all grow up being fans of something. Okay. No matter, you were a super fan of something, you had to be like, whatever there, you had a poster on your wall growing up. And I just, you know, not a lot of videos show that side of things. And I think it's so special because none of these artists become the artists without their fans. You know what I mean? And I just thought it was a cool way to do it. And you know, I still get that feeling. I'm still just a fan. Like if someone's in the booth and they're recording a song with me and they do like a good line, I'm like, whoa, I'm like, oh, like the little 6-year-old in me comes out.
Oh, I love that.
Great. What was the poster on your wall, Benny, as a kid?
Oh my God. I used to do a thing though. I'm such a nerd. I used to do a thing where I used to print out liner notes and hang them on my wall and like try to guess who the producers were without it was so weird. And like look at all like the like engineers on the songs and I was like really I was obsessed with credits.
Wow. And you have so many credits. I mean, that's why I was like looking at the list of what you've done and you are still so young. That's the other thing is like, not saying that you're little Benny still, but you're like so young and doing such big things. And I want to go back to like your like growing up into this, being this producer, writing these songs. You had a mentor. How did that shape you?
Man, I had so many mentors. There were so many people along the way. And, you know, I'm just one of those people that like, I just want to be a sponge. If I'm in any like, I'm not one of those people who's just like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know it all. Like, if like I'm with you and you're telling me something that I don't know, I'm like, tell me more, you know? And I just love learning. And, you know, I've been grateful enough to be around so many people, you know, producers, managers, label owners, artists, like, and I just try to pick up something every time I'm around someone that will be helpful for me later in life, you know, because I think information is just key, just like getting the most information you can and not trying to be I tell everyone to leave their ego at the door. Like, it's like, for me, it's like best idea wins. Like if we're making a song, I don't care if you're like my friend's uncle and you come by and you never did music. If you're like, hey, what if it went like this? I'm like, oh, like I've actually had songs where people who aren't even songwriters got writing on my song because they came up with an idea.
That's so good. I love it. So you got to tell us, I mean, last time we spoke was Lonely had just dropped. Did that song, what does that song mean to you personally? And how has it changed kind of what you do?
Man, it just means it's the same thing. It's just everyone's just a human. Like Justin's a human, like BTS are humans. Like people put these people on these larger than life pedestals. And I think it's good when you can humanize people a little bit. And I think that's when people really connect, when people have a bad day, just like us. They make bad decisions. They say the wrong thing. They say the right thing. And it's like, I think a lot of artists' lives are put like under this microscope. And I think that song just like, I don't know, I think it helped a lot of artists too. Like a lot of artists hit me up when that came out and they were just like, man, like, I never said anything like this, but it's so important to me that like people realize this, you know, our lives look like the best lives in the world, but we still have problems and issues just like everyone else.
Do you like to bring out honesty and vulnerability in your music?
Yes, so much so. It's very important to me. Yeah, I want people to, you know, if an artist comes in, I'm like, hey, tell me how you're feeling. And they're like, oh, I'm great. And I'm like, tell me how you're feeling. And they're like, I'm great. And I'm like, how are you feeling? And they're just like, oh, my boyfriend left me. My girlfriend left, like you know, and then it's like, let's talk about it. Let's put in a song.
Yeah.
Wow.
So good. Well, you are about to do big things with Bad Decisions, man. I mean, it came out 2 days ago. I was looking at the views and what it's doing. It's such a good up tempo, fun song, and the video matches it. So congrats on all that. We can't wait to play it here in Chicago on Kiss FM. Yeah, of course. What would you say if you were to tell anybody that's listening right now one thing about BTS that they might not know with your experiences with them? What would you say that is? Oh, I think we lost Benny.
No, I'm thinking.
He's thinking.
Okay. Here's the thing. The stage is like their moment because they're so large. Like they dance, they sing, they seem so confident. But some of them are actually a little shy when they're off stage. And it's like a lot of big artists are like that. You go and you see these artists and you're like, oh my God, they have the best personalities. And then like when they're off stage, like they're just like a little shy. And I think that gives hope for like anyone. I think like anyone who's like a little bit shy, a little bit uncomfortable in their skin. It's like even the biggest artists in the world still have these same like moments where they feel a little bit shy about things or they don't know what to say in the moment. And it's okay to just be yourself,
I love that. And it's so true. Sometimes we categorize people of what we think, and what we're realizing is people are really human with all this. So exactly. we ask people this, and this is always like the question of the podcast where people kind of think really deep into this, but it's simple. And I'm dying to know what yours is. What do you want your legacy to be?
I want to have moved things forward and helped a lot of people and given people a lot of joy. And I want to be remembered for doing more good than bad.
I mean, it sounds so simple, but I get it, man. I get it. That's awesome. We appreciate you. Love your music. Keep crushing it. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're super busy, but Bad Decisions is the jam, bro. So congrats.
Thanks so much. Bye, guys.